Why, hello, everybody. Welcome to the PHP. I'm Booker. That would be Perez. How you doing?
Oh my gosh. I think, well, if you don't want this, you can always just fast forward through this part. We are going to be talking a lot of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard today, okay? And I'm talking about a lot.
Why?
It's the biggest story.
Well, what's new? I mean, well, you'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot to talk about. So Johnny Depp and Amber Heard coming up. We're also going to talk about Elon Musk, speaking of Amber Heard, and I think he's trolling everybody in a massive way. Some sad Britney Spears news, some an apology that I don't think Jason Momoa needed to give, why he upset people. Also some happy Adele news and more, including at the very end, an interview that you really need to stick around for. I'm going to be chatting with reality TV icons, and I think two folks that our viewers and listeners care about, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag. And I even got some breaking news out of them, plus a lot of juiciness. So stay tuned for that after our calls. But first, how are you? You chatted with Paul McCartney recently, right?
Oh, how about that? Yeah. So I guess Paul McCartney, every now and again, he's known for doing this. He calls radio shows on the way to his concert. He's done it before. I don't know. I don't personally know anybody that he's
pre-planned.
No, not at all. We got a call 10 minutes out that Paul McCartney would like to speak with us, Sir Paul McCartney. And we're like, okay. We didn't really even believe it. And we weren't sure at first. But the boss said, it's his manager. I know the guy. So sure enough, it was Paul McCartney. He got on the phone and he was funny and
I love
quick.
that way to roll because
it was cool. Yeah.
Because you know, if you're Paul, it's like, yeah, I'll do it that day if I feel like it. So, 10 minutes before, okay, let's call them. I feel like it. Let's do it.
Right. That's the way to do it. And who's not taking Paul McCartney's call? But he was very cool. You can get the interview. It's up on, just search it. It's out there everywhere. But very cool. Yes, very cool.
I actually met Paul McCartney in person.
You mentioned that. And he came to you, you told me.
Yes.
What's that all about?
It was a long time ago, back when I was relevant. It was 2008 in Liverpool, where he's from. I was there for the MTV Europe Music Awards.
Sure.
I was co-hosting the digital show and also presenting on the actual show. And I was backstage and he came up to me, and I remember it wasn't a long conversation, but he came up to me and he like shook my hand and said, "Hey, you be on your best behavior now." I'm like, oh my God, a fucking Beatle knows who I am. He's probably forgotten about me by now, but for a moment in time,
I don't think so. He's sharp. He is very sharp. And
I registered.
Yeah, he's funny and quick, and he seems to have a really good memory and great recall and can tell a story. I
was so tempted to go to see him in concert, but I had the busiest day on Saturday. I had a workout. I had to go to Ralph's to pick up everything from my daughter's birthday party. Then I had to go to my daughter's birthday party at this day camp, which was really fun. And then, because I'm being more social, I met up with these two girlfriends for drinks. And I had one drink, my second drink in 2 months, because I've been laser focused with my healthiness. So that was good. And then you also chatted with the Black Keys, right?
Oh, yes. I did a special with them on the radio Friday night. So that was the same day as Paul McCartney. It was a very busy day for sure.
Busy day.
Well, and then I've had a terrible weekend, to be really honest with you.
Oh, no.
So
I could tell you were in a bad mood earlier. And I'm like,
I was? What did I do?
I'm just joking. Why was your weekend bad?
I'm just tired. One of my dogs, the one we were considering keeping, developed a little bit of a twitch, and its eye was sort of twitching a little bit as well. Long story short, it has distemper, which is a very, very dangerous and horrible, horrific disease with dogs. And the stage my dog is at now, it shakes every about 2 seconds as it's being like it's being electrocuted. It's like a jolt every 2 seconds, and the dog can't get comfortable. He doesn't really seem to be in pain when he does it, but he can't get his wits about him. It's awful, to put it just mildly. It's absolutely terrible. So I just have not slept. We've been up for 2 days.
Is this
with
one
dog.
of your dogs, or
no? This is one of the Fosters, but
right.
We can't abandon it, so we've got to see it out. So we're just working through it and learning everything there is to learn about distemper, and it's terrible. It's absolutely horrific, and going through it has been awful. But we're trying to do our best.
Well,
there's that.
All right. Buzzkill.
Yeah, sorry. If I'm not with it, I'm really not even kidding you. I've probably slept 2 hours in 2 days. I'm almost dizzy right now. Like the whole world just seems dizzy to me. I'm coffeeing up to see if this helps.
I don't mind if you just nod along this episode and just let me talk.
I'll nod along. Continue.
That might be my favorite episode we've done.
I say nothing.
All right. No. All right. We're going to get to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. But first, we have a new sponsor, Fulton. I think that these are so important for not just folks with feet issues, like flat feet, like me. I have major flat feet, but these supportive yes. Oh my God. In the past, I've gone and had these made like at actual doctor that costs so much money. Anyways, this is not expensive, and it's a major help for everybody, whether you're somebody who has flat feet like me, or maybe something else with your arches, or you just need more support. More support is always a good thing. This is a new brand, Fulton. It's completely improved the way I feel every day. If you have foot, knee, or back pain and you just can't find any comfortable shoes, Fulton is the brand for you. Fulton has developed the most comfortable and supportive insoles on the planet. They're made from cork, so they mold to your arch like Birkenstocks to give custom arch support and make all your shoes so comfortable. The insoles are carbon negative. They are made entirely from sustainable materials, so if that is important to you. Also, these were designed by doctors, podiatrists, chiropractors, so people that know what they are talking about, and they will make a huge difference in your life. And right now, if you visit walkfulton.com and use the code Perez10, you will get 10% off site-wide. That's walkfulton.com, Fulton, and use Perez10 to save 10% off. Thank you for being a new sponsor, and everybody please check them out. Okay.
Please send me some Fulton insoles. That would be fantastic. I wear Chucks, which have like no lining in the bottom, and I've worn them my whole life. And I have a kind of a high arch to begin with, so my feet always hurt. So I have to put something in them. These would be great to add to my Chucks. Hook it up.
Let me go check, because now that I literally had this thought, my OCD. Oh no, please no. Wait, let me see. Oh God, hold on. Is she? No. I swear I'm having major FOMO right now.
Why?
Not watching the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial live.
You're one of these nuts.
All right. Thankfully, she's not on the stand. I don't think she's expected to be on the stand anymore. The explosive days this week already happened. But oh my God, right now, like I'm literally watching on YouTube. On this stream, 553,000 people are watching live. Did I mention last week or the week before, my YouTube views are so down on my family channel, like 50% down, because everybody's fucking watching this trial, and they're not watching anything else on YouTube and even Twitter is live streaming it as well. So right now, one of her oh God, I'm one of these people now. This woman is an MMA fighter, I believe, or some kind of like professional boxer fighter, Rocky Pennington, Rocky. And I don't even like, I'm surprised that she's being so forthcoming. Yesterday, during the deposition that she was giving, the testimony, they kept asking her all these questions about her drug use. Like, I don't
know who this person is, Perez. You got to
she was a former friend of Amber Heard's.
Okay.
Yeah, that also lived with Amber Heard. So
and she took the stand.
Yeah. Well, not in person. It was a deposition that was given
I gotcha.
previously that they're showing to the jury. I mean, I understand why a lawyer would ask that, but I would just be like, I don't recall if I did cocaine with Amber Heard. But yeah, this woman said, yep, we did cocaine together. Oh yeah, that time we were doing mushrooms and all that. Like, oh my God. It's like, it's just a reminder. That's why people are watching, because it's like, you're hearing all of these things that you are just like, wow, like you only think about, right? Oh, those Hollywood people are just so crazy, but you don't really ever get the details of how crazy the Hollywood people are.
It's true.
And now, like every day you're getting them. I've literally been taking notes. It's so weird because
so far you've bored the crowd. We're bored. You got to give us something.
You're bored.
No. We're all bored. You're telling a story and you're not telling a story. You're just saying some woman went on stand. This is what I've heard so far and told us about some drugs.
Okay.
But how does it pertain to the case? Like,
all right. Well, I literally just said she did drugs with Amber Heard. And then the lawyer, and I said I would understand why a lawyer would ask that, because they're trying to paint a certain picture of Amber Heard.
But don't you think this has already been painted and everybody already knows this? I mean, look, here's what I see, and kind of
shown on
right. So fill me in. What are we all missing? Here's what we know. He's nuts. She's nuts. They both party like teenagers, like Hollywood people, out of control, and they're throwing mud back and forth at one another. What else is there? That's what I don't get. It's the details, I guess.
Yeah, it's a real life soap opera for people, and you clearly don't get it because.
Well, no, you're like a person that just got into a television show, and you think everybody in the world's into that television show.
Everybody.
I'm the real. No, they're not. I'm the real person on this show. I guarantee you, you're going to get 10 million calls. Listen, week one, you were right saying this is a big case.
Oh, it's still a big case.
But people are not so enthralled by every detail every day.
Absolutely wrong. You are.
They're not.
You're totally wrong.
Well, continue. Tell us a story then, because we're bored to tears. Well, we are bored. I'm telling you, your audience is bored.
They're not. You're so wrong here. In fact, I saw a statistic recently. Let me read to you the statistic. According to a report I saw in Axios that was done by Newswhip and Simran Parwain, the average number, they did a study, the average number of social media interactions per published article by selected topic. Number one, the Heard Depp trial. Number two, Elon Musk. Number three, Joe Biden. Number four, abortion.
Perez, there's something that's number one every week. I've told you this before. I'm not arguing that this is a big story. I'm arguing the relevance of interest for our audience. Please make it interesting. That's all I'm saying.
So you're just telling me I'm doing my job poorly by not making it.
That's what I guess what I'm telling you. Please tell us more stories and get to the juiciness. I'm ready. We're ready.
I started off by talking about drug use. How much juicier
you started off by telling us somebody that none of us have ever heard of before.
It doesn't even matter.
And then you didn't even tell us how she was relevant to the case. That's how you started off.
I literally said it was a friend, and she lived with Amber Heard.
Okay.
You're just not into it. Don't rain on the parade of everybody that is into it. And if somebody's not into it, I said at the very beginning, fast forward this.
I wish I could fast forward. I wish you would fast forward.
Just shut up. I'm serious. I took notes. It's going to be long. I'm going to talk about it. People really want this.
Okay, let's go.
I know it. Anyways, back to this chart for a second. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial has more than triple the amount of interactions per article.
Brett, who cares? Why not say 1,000? It doesn't matter. Tell us the stories, please.
So, so many different stories. Like one of the big stories was elaborated upon. Like you mentioned, oh yeah, we know this, but we're finding more about everything that we know. For example, the story about Amber Turd, as she's been dubbed, and the poop in the bed. It's come to light that Amber Heard is denying that. She says it was not her poop. She says that that was disgusting and that she claims it was Johnny Depp's dog that left the poop, because Johnny Depp's dog was having bowel issues after eating weed.
Which is all believable.
Yeah, you may not have known that.
I did.
Oh, you did? All right, fine. You knew that. Fine, whatever.
I did.
She spent a lot of time talking about the alleged abuse that she suffered from Johnny Depp, and his lawyer was doing her best to try to discredit her and paint her as a liar. There were some instances where she changed her testimony. Her recollection changed, like, oh, the abuse actually started earlier than I had previously said in this other trial in the UK. She even claimed that Johnny Depp was abusive during their honeymoon, which, was alarming for me. I'm like, but,
it's alarming that you believe this stuff. Like, I don't believe her. I don't believe him. They're two people on drugs telling stories about when they were on drugs. That's why this is so boring to me. It's like being around drunk people at a party and then recalling being drunk at the party. Okay. You're like, I was there. You were just a sloppy mess.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that it's boring to you. It's not boring. I guarantee you 9 out of 10 of our listeners and viewers are into this. I guarantee it.
Okay. 800-721-1185 is the phone number, by the way.
Yeah. If you disagree with me, Perez. If you disagree with me, let me know. No, honestly, because next week the trial is still going on. And if I did too much this week, I'll make it real brief next week. Who's right or who's wrong? Who's interested and who's not? Call us. Okay. It was interesting that, so much of it to me was interesting. But it's like, is it interesting because I really think it's interesting, or because Johnny Depp's lawyer is making me think it's interesting and poking holes in Amber Heard? Like, she didn't really seek out a lot or any medical attention really for any of these injuries that she suffered. Not even the time when she alleged that Johnny Depp raped her with an alcohol bottle. She never sought out. Well, actually, maybe she did go in that instance, but so many other times, because it's all a blur now. But the person that she mainly spoke to was her therapist, and the therapist had notes, and Amber Heard had all these photos of alleged abuse. But then now it's like we're even questioning the photos. There's this one photo that it looks like the same photo with a filter on it. Basically, if I'm a juror, I'm having a hard time at this point believing Amber Heard. So there's that.
You're just now getting this? I don't believe either one of them. No one else does either. Do you think people do?
There's people that believe both of them. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a lot. Mainly people that believe him, but it's like, and I believe both of them actually,
Yeah. I believe something went down. But these stories are just goofy and dumb. Like they're two wasted people having recollections of their time when they were wasted. These are two toxic people that shouldn't be near one another. And after that, it's just a bunch of rambling. It's just like court space that, I guess there's nothing else on TV or the internet.
He's definitely not a saint, though. Like people are trying to paint him out to be like,
not a chance.
Hearing these tapes again, and like even yesterday, there was this guy that was also at a point in time living with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, that was a friend of hers, talking about how Johnny was physically violent, his words, because he would throw things when he would get angry. I would consider that physically violent too, if you're throwing shit.
I mean, if it hits you.
Yeah. He was abusive. I don't think you can argue that. The thing that you can argue was he physically abusive? Did he hit her or not? So many people are making a big deal, and I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but I do find it, I understand why people are making a big deal about it. In all of her testimony, it seems like Amber Heard has such a hard time crying. And people want to see her cry, like, or look at her cry, or she's not even crying. She's getting emotional, but she's not crying. Where are her tears? Like the analyzation of every detail. In fact, yesterday, people are so interested in this. I had the Spanish language media wanting my opinion about one particular topic, which I felt it was a stupid question, and I answered it like that. I won't even say which network. And I appreciate them for asking me to be on their TV show. Mm-hmm. They wanted to make a whole big to-do about Amber Heard is copying Johnny Depp's style in court. She's dressing like Johnny Depp. And I'm like, first of all, I don't see that. And secondly, I'm not focusing on what she's wearing. I'm focusing on what she's saying. But people are analyzing and picking apart every little thing of this trial. It's wild. I would say the big picture for me is a star is born with this trial. Johnny Depp's lawyer, Camille Vasquez. I think this woman is single-handedly going to inspire a generation of young people to want to be lawyers because she's just so good at what she does. And it almost makes me sad for Amber Heard because her
young people aren't watching this. This is for old buddies that love Johnny Depp.
Didn't you say the Johnny?
Hold on. Didn't you say the Johnny Depp fans are like boy band fans? So are you telling me that teenagers care? No. I'm asking you, do you think a 20-year-old is this invested? I don't think you're. I work with 20-year-olds. None of them are bringing this up. None of them. We ask the people that work with us, like, how interested are, how much should we cover this? The answer is zero, not even like a little. We're like, I don't know, this is going on every day. And everyone's like, no one cares. Young people don't care.
They do care. They keep.
This is where I get to say, you're old, Perez.
No, young people even keep making stupid memes.
They always
videos
do that
on TikTok. They do. It's so viral on TikTok. It's a huge thing on TikTok where young people are. Like, you're just so wrong about it.
You're not even on TikTok. How do you?
But I know what's happening on TikTok.
So do I. I'm on every day.
All right. So she's amazing. Camille Vasquez. It's like Amber's lawyer is fumbling and just not so good. And this Camille Vasquez is so smart. Like, I noticed yesterday in court that when Amber's lawyer was fumbling, this woman, a good lawyer, everything is a tactic and strategic and to get a desired result. And when she saw Amber Heard's lawyer not know exactly what she was going to ask or where she's going or just having a hard time, she just started objecting more. Like, if you're watching, you notice, fuck, Johnny's lawyer is objecting every single question. It's because it's a tactic. She's out lawyering Amber Heard's lawyer. And it makes sense. Johnny Depp can afford a much better lawyer. I'll wrap it up because you're so over this, but I do feel bad as a whole for victims of abuse. I think this trial, whether you believe Amber Heard or not, is difficult for survivors, is difficult for them to even accidentally stumble upon people talking about this in a way that mocks survivors, or I feel bad for them. And I hope that this trial does not discourage women or men from coming forward that are victims of abuse, because they might go through a similar situation. And also
this trial has to do with defamation, right? I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with abuse. I mean, that's
the crux of it.
She's trying to prove that he abused her. Yeah. So to put a nice bow on this pile of shit that we just laid out, in my opinion, do you still believe that Amber Heard will win all of this because of the core of the case? Forget about all the drama and all this shitting in beds, because it really is irrelevant.
Yeah, I still think she will win.
You still think she'll win?
But I don't think she will be given a single dollar by the jury.
Okay.
So she'll win, but she won't win any monetary compensation from Johnny Depp.
Right. So at this point, we're
because remember,
she's
suing him for $100 million or countersuing him for $100 million.
In this case.
Yes.
Here. Okay.
I mean, listen, I could be wrong. I clearly haven't watched every day. Like right now,
you've watched more than most people. I'll tell you that.
I have, but I haven't.
Well, no, I think listen, and this is what I liked. What you talked about last week was the parts that you know about defamation and understanding what you can prove and what you can't prove. That's interesting to me. The rest of this stuff isn't. This is just like I said, it's like two people that got drunk recalling those moments to somebody else the next day. You're like, this is like a hodgepodge of a mess and I don't really care. That's my problem with the whole thing. I think they're just wasting everyone's time. They're both fucked up people. And they act like fucked up people. And now they're just sharing with us that they're fucked up people. I'm bored. I know fucked up people. They're just not interesting to me. But I'm really interested to figure out what the winning is and how you could, in a jury box.
Johnny Depp's already won, as I said. Even if he loses this trial, he's already won.
Even if the result is she wins, he's won.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I don't know how she'll ever recover from this, to be honest. Listen, I don't say this from a place.
I don't know if I agree with that because, fame is just fame. You know what I mean? The more famous you get, the higher your Q score is, the more people know who you are. Do I see her surviving the Marvel universe? Not a chance. But do I see her being cast in some sort of could be a hit type Netflix show where she plays some villain in 2 or 3 years? You don't see it at all.
She even mentioned in court, like she gets so much hate and abuse on social media, and social media is an important part of it. So a brand like Revlon that she worked with, or a brand like Disney or Netflix or whatever, is not going to want to hire her because social media is important to promote products, shows, whatever it might be.
Right.
And they don't want their social media posts flooded by Johnny Depp fans that hate.
Let me take it a step further then. So someone like Lindsay Lohan, who you say that has had moments of, I just don't think she's as good as everyone thought. She has a couple good movies that she was good in. They haven't really cast her in anything else great since. But I think you would have said the same thing about her. She's toast. But Lindsay, and I guess that's my point. The fame thing, can't that keep you in the game?
Lindsay's issues were always drugs and thievery. She was accused of stealing as well, and things like and hit and run. Okay. She had major issues, but it's almost become even bigger than Amber Heard. She now, for many people, is this symbol of women falsely accusing men, which sucks because that doesn't happen that often.
I just don't think she's a symbol of that.
She absolutely is.
No. I think more people see this the way that I see it.
No,
you've got
so
two
wrong.
whack job celebrities.
You're so wrong.
But you're not even listening to me. You have two whack job celebrities slinging it out.
Said this over and over again.
I know, because that's all this is. I'm not telling you that getting the details isn't interesting, like pooping in beds. It's funny for memes and this and that.
That's a major part of it, that they're these big celebrities, but another major part, and one of the reasons why, especially a lot of conservative commentators have really gone, you would think, oh, I don't care about those Hollywood types. You're wrong. Conservative commentators across social media have globbed onto this story because it's about Me Too. It's about these false allegations. So it's a big and important story for them and for a lot of other people as well. I'm right. You're wrong. I just know this. All right, let's move on. All right. Speaking of Amber Heard, her ex-boy, oh my God, I'm going to get to that in a second. Amber Heard needs to find a way to get back with Elon Musk and just get pregnant with him, have a baby or 2 or 3.
It's a very sexist thing that you're bringing
It absolutely
up.
is.
Yeah.
But that would be great for her.
Okay.
I'm just,
I'm just pointing out the obvious.
it absolutely is. I own it, but
Okay.
it comes
As long
from
as you know it.
it comes from a place of love
It's
because
from a place you want more hits because you find it that would be interesting.
no, because I think she's going to have a really hard time in Hollywood after this trial.
Boo-hoo.
And I don't
People
know.
are lucky to have a run in Hollywood, and you're just lucky. And most people's run in Hollywood does not last that long. Only the elite superstar, Johnny Depp, and for example, does he come back? Probably not. Looking at him anymore, he's just there's no mystique anymore. There's his even stand-up comedy up there and the stupid fucking things he's saying on the stand. I'm turned off by him. I'm turned off by her. And I think a lot of people, I know I agree with you, but I'm just saying he's the A-list.
Yeah, but every day he's greeted by throngs of fans outside the court cheering his arrival.
Well, there were serial killers that were as well. So, nothing shocks me.
Anyways, Elon Musk, we spoke about on the podcast recently, is allegedly buying Twitter. But now I think it was all a big prank or a punk or a practical joke. His latest is he's not sure if he's going to go through buying Twitter unless Twitter can prove that less than 5% of all Twitter users are bots.
Yeah.
And if they can't prove that, I think he wants to try to renegotiate the price or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I think it was all just an ego stroke for attention. And also, he was not happy with how he was treated as a big shareholder at Twitter. So he's like, oh, you're mistreating me? Well, I'm going to put you all through the ringer now. And that's the Elon Musk story. He and Amber Heard make so much sense together for me.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I do find that interesting, the money side of it. Like he's trying to say that, look, this thing, you've overvalued it. I just want the numbers to decide if it's truly as valuable as you say that it is. And that does make sense. I do wonder what the percentage of bots is on Twitter. Like 5% is a lot of people, 5 out of every 100. But then again, it doesn't shock me. There's other countries manipulating our news. There's other forces at work out there. So I don't know. I'd want to know too. It's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Jason Momoa, who stars in Aquaman with Amber Heard, recently started following Johnny Depp on Instagram. Dun, dun, dun. One could interpret that as he does not support his co-star Amber Heard. I would interpret it that way. Would you?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
I don't even understand that. I would just stay out of it. Why even want to? Why get yourself a headline for that?
You know what else? Who else just recently followed Johnny Depp on Instagram, and this surprised me too? Jennifer Aniston. She just started following Johnny on Instagram. She doesn't follow a lot of people on Instagram, so people noticed. She's old. Well, she's not on TikTok. She's on Instagram.
And somebody needs a headline. I think Jennifer Aniston is on TikTok now. I think.
She is?
I thought that I saw her do a post just once, though. Look it up. I think she is. I want to say I think she is. And I always could get Instagram and
she's not.
And TikTok confused. Okay, maybe it's just Instagram.
Just Instagram. Anyways, that's not what Jason Momoa was apologizing for. He apologized recently for something else. The 42-year-old actor paid a visit to the Sistine Chapel, the iconic living piece of art and history from Michelangelo, and he took photos in there. And he even touched, I think it was a sculpture at one point in a video, and people were freaking out because, well, first of all, you're not supposed to touch this ancient art. And secondly, you're not even supposed to take photos.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I don't think you're allowed to take it. Doesn't it like it may have the lights, they may affect the art and they're trying to keep it alive as long as possible or whatever their dumbass reason is, but that's the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. He apologized and said, let me read this quickly. I just wanted to say if you ever felt that I disrespected your culture, it wasn't my intention, blah, 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 blah. I gave a wonderful donation to bring my friends and crew because we only had a couple days off to experience these places. I paid to have that private moment and gave a nice donation to the church. I love you. I'm sorry if I offended you. It's like rubbing it in people's faces that I'm rich and I can basically famous. Do whatever I want.
Yeah. And probably wasn't even told that he can't take pictures.
Exactly.
His people were probably told who didn't tell him because he's the big star.
Although I'm sure there were signs all over the place. You can't take pictures here, you know?
Maybe on the way in, yes, but probably not once you get in. And you know that VIP access, you come in some other way and you go through some tunnel in a cave and all of a sudden, blah! But still, no excuse. I mean, if you're going to the Sistine Chapel, you would probably think, well, I would know the rules. I mean, I think most people know you can't take pictures in there.
Although, why can't you take photos without flash? That makes no sense.
That's a good point, but I don't know.
Because dumb people would still use their flash anyways. Anyways, I don't think he should have apologized for that, though. I think he should have just let it slide. It was like, you know,
who's keeping tabs on that? Nobody.
I think him apologizing made it a bigger story.
Well, I'm just wondering if he's a little thirstier than I thought he was, because this is two stories that almost are clickbaity from Jason Momoa. I mean, following Johnny Depp, that's like, I need a headline. And then this whole, Sistine Chapel thing is a very Kardashian thing to do. That's something they would do on purpose just to get themselves a headline. So I don't know. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. That's kind of where I'm leaning on this one. Like, I didn't know he was this into the game, but apparently he is.
Oh, well, actually, it's also that it's also the nature of the game, meaning the Amber Heard trial is putting a spotlight on him. Mm-hmm. The film is coming out. And he's got a new girlfriend. So his new relation, which I didn't talk about because I don't think people care about her that much, but she's famous, an actress named Eiza Gonzalez. You've probably never heard of her, but she's a working film actress and big in the Latino community. So it's the combination of all of that. Aquaman 2 coming out, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and his new girlfriend.
Right. And you maybe at that level, you need to milk the cow a little bit just to, get those headlines, to get people talking about the stuff. And I do understand it. But, two of these stories in a row to me is a little thirsty.
Over the weekend, Britney Spears sadly announced that she lost the baby that she was expecting with her fiance, Sam Asghari. And I mean, is it to be expected? I don't know if it's to be expected, but these photos went viral where all of these people were almost like, I would say they were shaming Britney Spears. They were making it seem like it was her fault that she lost her baby, because last week or a week and a half ago now, she was in Mexico and she was photographed by the paparazzi riding a wave runner. And then I saw all this chatter like, oh, yeah, that's not all that jumping or whatever. Like, you're not supposed to be riding a wave runner, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, keep your opinions to yourself in this instance, I would say. I don't know. Or not. I mean, I guess hopefully she's not checking social media, but I just wish.
I don't think she is.
Hopefully. But I send positive vibes to Britney. That's an awful thing to have to go through. But on the flip side, she has said that she's working on new music. So we might be getting I didn't think that would happen anytime soon. So we might be getting some new Britney Spears music soon. And maybe that might inspire her to maybe start performing again as well. Who knows? So positive vibes to Britney. Also, positive vibes to all of the Netflix employees that have been fired. Oh, this is a bummer.
You know, I love this. Please, bummer.
A few weeks ago, they already fired some people. I think they fired like 20 people a few weeks ago. But now this week, they went ahead and they fired an additional 150 people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I thought you were going with and by the way, I don't want to make fun of people that lost their jobs because of the way the company's performing. I was thinking
there's another story. I'm going to talk about the other story as well.
Okay. Yeah, bring that up. That's the one I like. I don't want to get confused with people like me celebrating people losing their jobs. I thought we were going another direction here.
That's a different one. I'm getting to that. This is the Netflix segment. So there's that. But actually, I ran into a friend of mine who works at Netflix, and the company. He was not acting as an official Netflix spokesperson. Okay.
Sure.
So I'm not revealing my friend's name or his position, but Netflix seems to think that the big main problem at Netflix is password sharing. And if people didn't share their passwords, they'd be making so much more money, which there might be something to that.
Yeah. I don't know if that many people would pay as much as they do. But to his point, but I still don't know if that many people, like, what is Netflix now? $15 or $16? If I could not share my password, I would not have Netflix because I share it with a couple of people in my family, probably whatever the maximum is, 4 or 5 people, which is legal, which you're allowed to do. You have your profiles up on the screen, but they in turn share their Hulu with me or their, Showtime. If it came down to I couldn't share them, I don't know if I would have Netflix any longer because I've kind of seen everything on it. I'll let it go every month because of the other things I'm getting from other people, but they better tread carefully with that thought.
Although, and he then followed that up with, because we were having an off the record conversation, it was my friend. The second thing I think was a little more honest. He just said they just started producing too much crap.
Yeah. It's like what I said last week. They gave every comedian a fucking special, and most of the specials outside of Chappelle, I won't name names, but they've been absolutely unwatchable. These really great A-list comedians just phoned in some specials that weren't that great. They overpaid for them. And then they gave these big celebrities these big fucking deals for these multi-movie
Meghan
deals.
Markle and Prince Harry.
Oh, there's more than that. I mean, some of these movies are just... I'll give you an example. I love Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. There it is. You took the words right out of my mouth. I love him. I tried to watch Free Guy, which is a free piece of shit.
But that was not Netflix. No, that was not Netflix. The Adam Project was Netflix, and then there was another one.
I'm sorry. You're right. It's Adam Project. I watched that. Horrible. Okay. Like, it's just the goofiest. Come on, you got to be making better movies than that. It just was a weak script, but I love Ryan Reynolds, so I sat through it. But the Free Guy 2 sucked. I mean, that was a terrible movie as well. I'm seeing two turds.
I liked Free Guy.
I couldn't even make it through it. I couldn't finish it. But yeah, Netflix has given way too much money for these subpar movies that just aren't that good, and they have to stop. And I guess they will.
Well, the other big Netflix news that I think you were alluding to, the CEO of Netflix, Ted Sarandos, sent out a few days ago a letter to all of the staff at Netflix that this went viral in conservative circles because they're looking at it as a takedown of wokeactivism, which basically said that if you're an employee that is offended by certain content on Netflix, that you should
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that you should quit because they're not going to censor specific artists. And frankly, I fucking loved that.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I agree with you. Freedom, that is fucking freedom of speech. When you detest what other people are saying, but you are a fan of them being able to do it. That is freedom of speech. And if you don't like that, get the fuck off our bus is what they're saying. And I love it.
But I love that too. It's like, you know what? I'm the boss. This is my company that I'm the CEO of, and this is how I'm going to run it. And you're our employees. We treat you well, but you're not running it.
Yeah,
I am.
There's another company.
Of loved that.
There's another company that I won't mention, but I knew somebody that worked at, and it was the same sort of thing where they would have these big, bonfire chat side, whatever the fuck they call those sessions. And they'd let
You're talking about Spotify. I know.
I'm not even saying who I'm talking about. But
you are, I know.
I've told stories like this on the air before, but it's wild the entitlement that these young employees have, that they think their opinion is so fucking important and so relevant just because they're young. No. I want to hear it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to fucking follow it. You know what I mean? And that's the difference of this whole fucking generation of, I've been told that I'm special and everything I say should go and the world should be this way. Fuck you. It should snow Cheerios too, but it doesn't. Okay. It just doesn't. It's funny to me. It's very funny to me. So
I've never heard that expression before.
You know me. I just fucking made it up. It just pulled right out of my ass.
I would much rather it snow Captain Crunch
or Magic Spoon.
Who enjoys Cheerios? Maybe Honey Nut Cheerios. But
there you go.
Basic Cheerios is
I love a Cheerio.
Cardboard. No, you don't.
I do. I love Cheerios. Regular plain Cheerios with bananas in it. Oh, fantastic. Are you kidding
me?
Banana in a Cheerio? You don't love that?
Honey Nut Cheerios? Yes.
It's too sugary. See, you made it too sweet. The banana with the plain is a nice mix. It's not too much.
No. Regular Cheerios is the worst, one of the worst cereals out there.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat fucking Special K than
I love Special K.
I do like Special K, but regular Cheerios, no.
Listen, by themselves, I'll give you that. You got a point. But I never eat them by themselves. I always would either throw in a blueberry or a banana.
I've recently become obsessed with these videos of people making oats because it seems so simple.
What do you mean, like the overnight oats?
Yeah,
well, but they make Kellen eats that every single day of her life.
But they make it
peanut
look
butter.
So good. I'm like, it looks so simple, but wow! And they put the spoon in it, and it like explodes. I'm like, wow! I'm in an oats hole. I'm in an oat hole. Anyways, what people I think are over. They're not over and are very interested in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. They're over the Kardashians. So I've left them for the end of our show today.
Well, one more question. And boy, I can't believe I'm taking you back to Johnny Depp. What about the elevator video of Amber Heard?
And James Franco?
What was that about? Is anyone
at that point her marriage was over. She filed for divorce like the next day.
Okay, so this wasn't like in the throes of okay. Well, then it's just somebody caught video of them and they're just sort of splashing it out there. That's all I wanted. I just wanted the story.
Who did it? Building.
Okay.
It was in their apartment building, but that was like I think she literally filed the next day. So no big deal. I don't think that's a big deal.
Okay. I just wanted to know. It's something I saw and I didn't ever get an answer or an opinion from you on it. Now I got it. Continue.
All right. On to the Kardashians for a little bit. Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker finally said, I do. I personally viewed this as very anticlimactic. I don't care. Good for them. Happy for them. Once again, their daughters. They're not daughters. Her children,
right,
were not at the wedding. I don't even know if. I'm sure we'll find out on the Kardashians show on Hulu
on the next episode.
I don't even know if any family was there. They just decided to have like a legal wedding because apparently their big wedding is going to be in Italy. So they needed to get legally married in the United States before they get married in Italy and blah, blah, blah. Congratulations to them. Also, congratulations to Kim Kardashian. She is on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Issue. Although I like swimsuit. It makes sense. Swimsuit. Get it? Anyways. No. A you're an idiot. She's on the cover of their swimsuit issue.
Okay.
And she looked hot. So good on that. Also,
I saw that people are supposedly upset about that. That
why are they upset?
well, she's not an athlete and this and that and taking the place of blah blah blah. I've seen it. Whatever. I know. I'm just saying I
She's
see
Kim
it.
Kardashian.
Yeah.
And it's not like she's the only cover. There's multiple covers.
Always is, yeah.
Ciara's on another cover. Are you upset that Ciara's on the cover?
I wasn't upset about Kim Kardashian being on the cover. What are you shaking me off for? I'm just telling you what I've seen.
All right. Speaking of Kim, her ex-husband, Kanye West, this new girlfriend of his is keeping things like low down. And I think that's the way to handle it. They're still together, outlasted Julia Fox by far. And things are so serious that Kanye's new girlfriend, Shanae Jones, has pulled a Pete Davidson and she's gotten a Kanye tattoo.
Wow.
She got Yay tattooed on her wrist. So making it last. Also, Black
tattoo lasting. That's about it.
After losing the Kardashians lawsuit and literally days after being accused of assault, Black China, Rob Kardashian's baby mama, shared that she's now a born-again Christian. And she was just baptized in the pool and she's born again. She also is going to be boxing somebody because she needs money. You know what I mean? Ugh. Well, I'm curious though, since she's born again, is she going to close down her OnlyFans? Because I don't know if Jesus would be encouraging you to do OnlyFans. Just saying.
I don't speak for Jesus, so I don't know.
Yeah. Also,
Jesus made that body.
Some more couples news. According to reports, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky are going to get married soon. In fact, she's even trying to find wedding photographers, and somebody blabbed. Also, Adele and her boyfriend, Rich Paul, have moved in together, taking their relationship to the next level. Congrats to them. Still together and living together. An update. I think somebody even requested this. And after I mentioned it, you said, okay, you were right. I love instances where you acknowledge I'm right. TikTok,
I acknowledged you were right the first week after the Johnny Depp thing, but I'm not going to go in week 10 and say you're right. I'm telling you, this is just
you're wrong.
The biggest story because it's the biggest story.
TikTok helped Lizzo's song About Damn Time become a hit. And it debuted at number 50, and then it dropped somewhere to the 60s, and then it bounced back last week to number 19. And this week, it's in the top 10 this week on the Billboard Hot 100.
Okay, but how am I not right? Because I would like to remind you, I'm the one that called it a hit from the beginning, and you were not.
No, okay, I said I always liked it. I always said I liked it. I thought it was a hit song.
You just said it was kind of generic, though. You didn't say it was a hit. I did.
I said it was a hit. I said it reminded me.
I said it was a hit. You didn't.
No, whatever. Anyways, congratulations to her.
Someone even called last week to point that out, and we aired it on the show. So this isn't me making that up.
You made it up. I did. I never.
I called about it last week. What?
I always liked the song, and I said that. Anyways, finally, before calls, congratulations to Camila Cabello. Her new album is flopped.
You're congratulating her for that?
Well, no, I'm getting to what the congratulations is.
It's not a strong congratulations sentence and statement there.
Well, her new album is flopped. All of her singles have flopped, unfortunately, but she's just been announced as a new coach on The Voice, and that will pay her millions of dollars. So even if the music flops, that's a very good look. So congratulations to her. And hopefully that could lead to more TV work. You know, she's famous now. So even if the music isn't thriving, she could still be making money doing other things.
Sure, she'll be famous forever.
All right, let's take some calls.
Melissa, Northern Kentucky. I feel like with Britney Spears, because she was locked away for so long, her mental growth was stunted. and she's now making up for time that was lost. And that's that.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense for most child stars, not even Britney Spears, you know?
Yeah.
I just have some quick constructive criticism for the interviews at the end for Perez. I know you do a good job at interviewing a lot of the people that you are interested in or that you have things in common with, but I've noticed a lot of the people that you do interview that you maybe don't have so much in common with or don't know a lot about. You seem very disinterested, or the questions are just kind of lackluster, I guess.
No, it's not that. Listen, I like to be honest. If it's somebody that I don't know, I'm not going to sit down and watch a season of a TV show or whatever. Like, I'm using these people to try to get some of their audience, and I don't care about them. I don't even want to be doing the interviews. I'm very honest.
Way to sell them. I don't even want to be doing the interviews. Let's take another call.
I like to be honest.
Hi, Perez. Hi, Booker. Long-time listener. I've never called before. Anyway, I'm Rachel from Seattle, and I just want to say I just finished listening to your interview with Adam Carolla. And Perez, I just want to say you are amazing.
Oh.
I listened to it, and I was like, oh, my God, I hope he asked what it's like to date at that age, and is he dating? And without skipping a beat, you went straight into it. I would have been so much more reserved, and I just thought, you are great. And, of course, there was no barking dogs.
There you go. So there's the juxtaposition of somebody that thinks your interview sucks
to
someone that thinks you did a good job.
Listen, I understand what she's alluding to, and I cut through the chase. I don't watch television. So if I'm interviewing like a housewife, I don't know what the fuck I'm really going to be. I don't know the minutia of the drama. I know the big picture shit. I've seen clips. I follow these people, but I'm not like closely following. But with somebody like Adam Carolla, I know what I could ask. I don't have to be like paying attention to Adam Carolla. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's a great conversationalist. He could just go on anything about any topic. He's really a great speaker.
Hey, Perez. Hey, Booker. I kind of have an observation and I'd love to know your thoughts. So the 2022 Billboard Music Awards are this weekend, and I'm noticing that there are so many influencers at this award show, specifically people from TikTok. And the other thing I noticed is like 90% of the awards had already been announced before the stream even started, before the show even started. And so basically when I tune in, it's like a big concert, a televised concert. It doesn't feel like an award show. Are award shows just out the window now and they don't hold as much clout as they once did? I just thought it was crazy to see.
Yes, to answer your question, no one gives a fuck. I've been saying that for years.
And there's nothing new about that either. The Grammys, they announced so many of them before the show, and they give out so few awards during the actual show.
And with influencers, that's the only people willing to show up anymore. That's the other thing about it. Like Taylor Swift is like, this is kind of lame. She looks around like, I'm the biggest name here. I'm the biggest name here. When you're the biggest name, you're like, maybe I should leave. Nobody else wants to be here. And it's just turned into small time. It all just looks small to me. They should just stop the awards, but they won't. It's all about the networks and somebody making money and branded partnerships and all this other horse shit that really doesn't matter to the viewer. And they just make bad shows and it's awful. They should stop, but they won't. So, turn the channel. That's what I do. Turn the channel. Hey, I'm happy it's on somewhere. Cool. There's other channels. I'll just watch those.
Hi, this is Kim from Cincinnati. Perez, I was just listening to the podcast, and your interview with Adam Carolla was so good.
See, another very good Adam Carolla. How about that?
Thank you.
All right, hold on here. I'm trying to blow through these because we really have a backup of calls here. I want to keep these going for a second. Here we go. And there's nothing on that call. Sorry about that. Trash. And here we go.
Hey, this is Lindsay calling from New York. Just calling in to comment on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, and I agree with Booker. They're both fucking nuts. Love you both. Bye.
Yeah, well, I think most people, even the Johnny Depp fans, acknowledge that.
Right, but I guess that's what we're all trying to say. There's really not a lot to it to dive in
But
when
it's
we already
also-
know the end of the.
But it's
you know
also
what I mean?
what I said at the very beginning. It's like so many people are watching every day that you don't want to be left out, or you're either the kind of person who wants to be a part of the conversation or the kind of person who doesn't give a shit, right?
Mhm.
And because so many people are watching every day, it's that situation. I think that's
Right.
also another element of it.
Yeah. Well, I think you just summed up the show. Some people are into it. Some people aren't. You are. I'm not at all. Like, I just see it for what it is. Here we go. One more call.
Hi, guys. I'm calling from Canada. I was just listening to your podcast about Britney Spears and the whole naked thing. I don't know if I agree with you, Perez, that we need to celebrate it. And I don't think it's very comparable to the Hillary Duff naked photos. If she did it a couple times, fine, but it's pretty constant and weird with the posting the same photo over and over, coupled with the weird script text that she writes. So I think it's pretty normal for us to be, I don't know, concerned. I'm not sure.
She's
if
weird. Why is being weird?
Hold on,
enough?
hold on. You're missing the point, though. She's saying,
I don't know, concerned. I'm not sure if
No,
he's
I get it.
celebrating it.
she's not, I think she's just saying she doesn't agree with your use of we should be celebrating it. And I understand her
I think
point of
we
view of that.
should. I understand her point of view as well, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Britney is weird. There's nothing wrong with being weird, I think.
Yeah.
She's weird and she's expressing herself. And I think what's the opposite of celebrating somebody expressing themselves? You're telling them to shut up and be silent. And I don't think that we should be.
But why
doing
does
that.
it always have to be the opposite? It doesn't have to be the opposite. It can just be, look, I don't agree or disagree with either one of your points of view on this, but you're just assuming that I have a negative point of view. I don't, either does she. She didn't come out and say that
No,
she shouldn't
I
do
get
this
it.
stuff. She didn't say that she's a piece of shit for doing it.
No,
She just said your choice of words, celebrating it, just seems a little odd. And I understand that. And I don't necessarily disagree with her either with that.
All right.
It is an odd thing to say. Let's celebrate her weirdness.
All right. Now on to my chat with Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag. These two I genuinely love. So we chatted for a long time and I got some great tea about The Hills co-stars. They don't hold back. And I love that.
Mhm.
And towards the end of our chat, I was shocked. Heidi Montag is pivoting and getting a real job, a non-showbiz job. You have to stay tuned to the end of the interview to find out what. So here is my chat with Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag. First, I want to know what the hell happened with The Hills. I have my theory on why MTV decided not to bring it back. There were some cast members that maybe were a little difficult or wanted too much money. I'm going to assume Brody was probably the most difficult, but maybe I'm wrong. Now that you're not doing it anymore, you have nothing to lose by being honest. What happened?
It didn't even get to that point of negotiations or.
It didn't?
No, so it definitely wasn't about, it was just an MTV decision. So I think that the last season was hard to finish. I think there were a lot of cast members who weren't really like putting out their storyline, and it was like pulling teeth to get anyone to film. And so I think they were just like, forget this. There's two people trying to make a show and you can't have a cast. Like Jersey Shore, everyone is working hard and making their storylines and stepping up. And it's just, I've heard from several production people and a lot of people that it's the most difficult cast they've ever dealt with, for people who are so thirsty and on Instagram and doing all these things. But then when cameras turn on, everyone freezes up and everyone's image crafting and nobody, they just want to come after. It was ridiculous. I was like, where are we? This is the least professional people I've ever seen in a setting.
And then also, besides all that, it was too expensive, which when you look at its ratings, like Siesta Key was pretty much rating the same as The Hills, and it's so much cheaper to do that show. So I'm sure when you're balancing, budgets, why are we paying all this money for the same ratings as, and I think they're going to they already have a pilot or a sizzle reel or something for like a younger, I don't know if they'll call it The Hills, but like an LA Siesta Key, I would imagine, which good luck. What I've learned also now is to get anyone to tune into anything, especially with new faces, is pretty challenging because there's a lot of competition for people.
That's not, I don't know if I agree with that. Netflix has done really well in creating multiple like dating franchises.
The thing with Netflix though is like I'll watch anything on Netflix because they have their stamp. I'm in Netflix, like it's one of the only things I watch. So that's my network. So I trust Netflix. They know what I like. It's for you. They launch it well. So it's different than a lot of other TV networks this day and age.
And Netflix has got such a global reach that you may not have people in this territory that'll watch you, but all of a sudden you become it's like these big, what was that? The Korean, or this from Korea, that show that I love.
Right. The Squid Games.
Yeah. Like that was, so it's a different, my point is just good luck. I just think, are people tuning into MTV necessarily right now, with all due respect? I mean, I would love to be on MTV and I'm not shading them. I'll take their check, but it's, it's hard to get that demo they're going after to go, because they're now at Bravo, because it's like MTV's like stuck in this thing where, are they the Bravo with the age demo? Or are they but it's all ridiculousness? What age is watching ridiculousness? I don't know. I'm not obviously a TV executive, but at the end of the day, if we'd had a cast that just put their real lives on television, then maybe we would have got a season 3. But I don't even know if then, because once you really show up with these people and you're like, oh my God, like it was like all the ultimate, like I felt like we were in a CBB skit where you like, everyone is like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's out of body. You're like,
it's still shocking to me because you guys, I mean, in the heyday of The Hills, how many millions of viewers were you getting per episode? Like 8 million, 7 million?
That's why Jersey Shore wiped us out. The Jersey Shore was getting 8 million. I think the most The Hills ever got to was max 4 something.
Well, that's still massive considering when in 2022 a broadcast show gets 5 million, like American Idol gets 5 million viewers, and that's considered well. So it was still extremely popular back in the day. You guys were on the cover of magazines every freaking week. And then it went off the air because things have a cycle, but then it came back and there was this second chance of doing something. And the first season happened. And then for me, I realized something was amiss, something was wrong when your sister, whom you've had issues with, but she makes for good television, wasn't coming back for the second season. I'm like, is it already starting to fall apart? Like, what the hell's going on?
She just wanted like $90,000 an episode, which nobody was getting close to that. And I think she just was still upset about 2008 when people were getting that and she wasn't getting that. So I think she felt that it's her, it was the wrong play. I definitely, my family, I was like, it's not a negotiation. It's just, she needs to take that offer, which was a great offer. And I'm sure it is what it is, but yeah, once we lost Misha, I knew it was all fall apart. If you can't even keep Misha Barton on your show,
I think that there was such a huge opportunity for the comeback, but once people had like the beginning of season 2 was fire and everyone was stepping up before the pandemic.
That didn't air.
And the real drama between Adrina and Caitlyn and Brody and Justin Bobby. I mean, there was almost like a physical fight between.
And Brody, none of that aired?
None of it aired. And that was real. And then after that, they all decided and they said, we are not going to do that. We all want to just be happy and look good on TV. And we're like, you guys, and that's why we got so frustrated. We're like, this is it. And nobody believed us. And they were all like, no, we're just going to go after you guys. And we're like, that's not good. Anyway,
They were like, we're good. We're all MTV has. Like, we have a built-in fan base. I was like, you guys are delusional. MTV's been fine for 12 years without any of us, and they'll be fine without they got a moon man. They're good. So it was horrible, the experience, because we worked so hard to get back to this, and we dealt with it. We also had the worst. There was a couple of good producers, initially, but then we had the worst showrunner producer ever. And it's not like we're saying this is like we've met so many producers now. Like, it's not even.
We don't want to have a bad producer. We don't want to be saying that. We didn't want to have to deal with that. Like, it was so frustrating to have someone who wasn't competent at their job, and this person was in charge of everything. So it was super frustrating not having, and then you see these other shows and they ended up replacing her at the end because she couldn't do the job. And the person they brought in is the one running Siesta Key. And we're like, why, where have you been? Like, why can't you have done it? She's like, sorry, I've been on Siesta Key. And so it's just frustrating. Everything was falling apart on all levels, and we just saw it slipping away, and we just knew. And that's why it was so frustrating too. We kept telling the cast, like, you can't just keep coming after us each episode. You all don't like each other. You all have problems. That's all interesting to everyone. And so they just wanted the easy play. And that's what the producer was telling them to do, and the low-hanging fruit, as the executive called it. But unfortunately, everyone needed to step up. It's called a cast. You can't have two people who are willing to do the work and everyone else not. So when we saw it happening, and right when we started season 2, after the pandemic, we knew the show was over.
Or during the pandemic.
Not even Kristen Cavallari could help.
We could have used more of her, but she wanted like $400,000 to do like 3 episodes. I was like, girl.
But also, Kristen wouldn't want to get into it. She doesn't want to fight with any, like, that's just not, I think, where she's at. So I don't know if she would have come in, but her cameo was great. I wish that.
I don't know. I think if you filmed her every day, her life, she seems, once she starts drinking on Justin Aniston's story, I'm like, do this on Instagram Live, but you won't do this on a television show.
Well, that's the problem with the whole cast. Everyone will do everything on social media, which has more eyes, and then they won't do it on the TV. We're like keep it consistent.
That's another thing. If everyone didn't have a social media presence or account, I think we would have had a way more successful run, because people would have felt like, people's mindset now is they think social media is more important. Like, I argue with Brody so many times. I know, Brody would be like, we don't need this, Pratt. We could just do our own thing on YouTube. I'm like, that boat's sailed, bro. Have you tried to make a YouTube channel? Like, good luck getting subscribers. So it's like,
you guys have tried. I respect that so much.
It takes too much. It's a full-time job. So you can't just, but
it's like
YouTube.
It's like, look at the Kardashians. They're still on TV because they know the value of that. They know that the TV show brings all this other opportunity to them and helps them with their social, and it helps them in so many ways.
I just was asked, spoiler alert, sorry. I was just asked in this profile for this magazine that's coming out, and the journalist was like, well, why don't you just do your crystals and be a family? Why do you keep chasing these TV? And I'm like, same reason the Kardashians are on TV right now as billionaires, because it does not hurt to have as many people knowing about our crystal company as possible. And yeah, we could sit here and be a niche little thing, or we could become a global brand like Kylie's makeup, because she barely even appears on the show these days. And still, I don't even know if she went to the premiere. She didn't do the red carpet.
She did. She went. Yeah. There was controversy that she was photoshopped in, but I saw video of her there. So she did go. What is your relationship? I think you're still friendly with Frankie, and what's your relationship with the cast now of The Hills?
I was more friendly with Frankie until, I found out that he was producing Audrina and Brody for a Hills recap podcast. And I was like, so I fought to bring the Hills back, called all of you to get you guys a check. Right when the Hills is canceled and you come up with another check, you don't hit either Heidi or I up to be part of this podcast to get a check. So that was like, nah. that kind of, I'm
Wait,
not sure.
So they're doing that? I didn't even hear about that. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, well, they just shot the first one. Maybe it's a pilot. Maybe it's the people who did the one on the OC. I don't know.
Oh yeah. That one did pretty well, I think, with Rachel Bilson and the Melinda woman or whatever. We'll talk about Pratt Daddy crystals in a bit, but we mentioned briefly your sister. She's had issues with both of you. What's your relationship with Stephanie these days?
I would still love an apology for both of us, which we haven't received. I recently did assist my father, and she left her luggage at her place in LA, and she was at the airport, and I assisted in getting the luggage to her, which was
we all did. Gunner, me.
Yeah, we were a team. So energetically, we helped get her, and physically, her luggage to her so that she could go back to Europe. So felt like that was a big bridge.
Was she appreciative of that?
Who knows? But I still, I would like a long notes app level or a video apology put on the internet for all the slander. And until then, to forgive, you at least need to apologize. Like as Lauren would say, forgive and forget. I just want to get apology and forgive, which we have not received for the list of abuse. So I'm fine at once we get that, but I still feel like
you haven't gotten an apology. You mentioned your sister was in Los Angeles for a bit. Did she see her nephew while she was here?
Well, why would we have her be around our nephew if she still hasn't apologized for literally just the reckless? I mean, just Google.
No, we know. Oh, I know.
It's not like, so why would you put your child around somebody who talks about their parents like that? At least that's not how I would do that.
In happier familial news, though, Heidi, your sister, she left showbiz and she's living a quiet life. Actually, surprising. Maybe tell everybody what your sister's up to these days.
My sister is thriving. She actually has one of the most successful women's recovery centers, and she's great with that. She just had like a news outlet come and interview about it. She's a really successful entrepreneur and has been sober for, a long time. So she just went and did some soul searching, and she's great. She's an amazing mom. And yeah, her and I are extremely close.
I feel like she's been sober for like 13 years.
A long time, yeah.
You got to make sure it's like long.
I think it's like 10.
And you guys visit there regularly. So you spend a good amount of time with your sister and your mom. You've spoken publicly about a desire to have another baby. Do you regret that? Because now it's like inviting people into the process and people keep asking you about it. Why did you make that public, that you were struggling to have a second child? And do you wish you hadn't said that publicly?
I'm so glad that I did say that publicly, because I've had so many people come up to me and say, like, tell this person or that, because it's a really hard thing to go through. And sometimes it's not shared, and it's just a great announcement and not the pain and the hardness. Hey, Gunner. Yeah. So I think it's easy to just see the like excitement of it, but I think it's really a journey that a lot of women and people go through. So I've always just shared everything I've gone through, whether it's, being on TV or plastic surgery. I'm just an open book. And I feel like if it can help anyone, then that's great. And that's just what I've gone through. So that was a good choice for me.
I did a cameo last night, and the person was asked me to pump them up because they were going through fertility issues also. I was like, dang, Heidi's getting me cameos now.
Is Heidi not on Cameo, but you are?
She is, but they want her. I was like,
okay.
On Cameo.
Have you explored?
Not as big as Perez.
Have you explored doing IVF, like in vitro?
No, I'm just gonna kind of see what's meant to be and just let it go either way. So
wait.
The time we were trying was easily the most stressed and like.
Oh, you did try in vitro in the past.
No. Like the time, like all of us trying to get pregnant was like the worst year of our lives. Like during the pandemic, dealing with the hills. Like it was like last time she got pregnant, we were just chilling. It was relaxed. We just done CBB in London. We just got out of the house, and I really just believe it's a frequency thing at this point. Like, how are you going to have a baby when you're the most stressed, most nervous? Heidi's so upset about everything to do with Gunner and mass at school. And, like it was the worst year. I'm glad we didn't have a baby. So maybe, energetically, I put out a stop because it was horrible this year.
Oh, well, you haven't explored IVF yet, but have you thought about, well, maybe, I mean, this is my brain. Well, okay, keep doing it naturally, but maybe let me freeze some eggs or freeze some embryos, like just in case.
I'm just gonna see what it is. I'm just gonna see what God has planned. And you know what? Having one kid could be such a blessing too. So I think that whatever is meant to be.
She did do the surgery to like clear her tubes or whatever.
Well, I did that, and then I also had polyps removed in my uterus.
So she did some
but
things.
I feel like it's a good time now. We have clearance on the hills, so hopefully soon.
So you mentioned something that I've observed in you publicly, Heidi. It seems like over the years, either you were always this way and maybe kept it more private in the past, or you've become more of this. I've seen, I mean, hell, you even released a Christian song not that long ago, but your relationship with God seems more public. Is that something that you've grown into, or has it always been really special to you in your life?
It's always been the foundation of my life and like one of the most important things to me. So I really, especially when we were in Carp and then when we were getting back on the hills, I was like, I don't want to lose focus on God. And I really want to be able to continue doing something on social media that is like soul filling for me. So I was like, okay, I'll just start Pratt Prayers. And so I started Pratt Prayers, and it has like 45,000 followers. And so it's a great outlet because I don't want to isolate my core following on Instagram because not everyone wants to follow that. So I was like, I'll make my own space for it. And then I can fully just post whatever I want and have sermons there and then whatever. So I just went into that route. But there was a time where I was like, should I just become a full preacher? But actually from like the certain Christian community, I've heard like, I'm not Christian enough, like with the music that, that record label was like, we don't want to keep working with you because you're not Christian enough for our audience. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
that's not a very Christian like thing to say or do.
I was so shocked. I was like, okay, no problem.
I really liked that song, by the way. That was fun.
Thanks for the song. Thanks for paying for it.
Well, speaking of music, actually, I'll get to that. But one last question before I move on to music. You guys have been together, married for well over a decade now. There were a lot of people who probably thought you wouldn't last a year or two. What is the secret to your long-lasting marriage?
What's the secret, Spence?
The secret.
Well, I think you're the secret. I have an amazing angel wife. I don't think I would be in a different world, obviously. I don't think I would be married this long to any human besides Heidi. I think I was meant to marry Heidi. And so I think a lot of times people end up in relationships they weren't supposed to be in. But, going back to like our legal wedding that was on the hills, like I remember going into like, this holy room they had in the church. And I remember, I was like talking to God because the hills were like trying to get me to leave. Like the producers wanted me to like leave Heidi and then they'll do another one. And I was like, just talking to God. And I was like, I just felt that Heidi was, I already know at that time, but I just didn't want to even risk that. That was finally where like the drama and what, all Heidi's parents and family flew in. And it was that moment I was like, well, let's not play with somebody I'm going to be with the rest of my life at this scale. So I don't know. I just feel like, Heidi is just so, people don't know Heidi. That's why I always say, like when we go to pitch production meetings or whatever and be like, oh, well, everybody knows you guys. I'm like, Nobody knows Heidi. Like there's no, they don't. Like every single show we're on, they try to like, put Heidi in this box or, edit Heidi this way or manipulate this or pay us to have to do this way. But nobody knows just genuine, sweet, funny Heidi that I know. So I think if people always knew who Heidi was without the Hills edit from the day one. Like I was just watching season 1 when I was doing a couple of Hills recaps, and they were trying to make Heidi look bad from the moment, not to the scale as when I came in, but they were still trying to make her look just like, all due respect, kind of like the ditzy dumb fret, like just not who Heidi was from the moment you watch. So I think to these people that would be like, how are they still together? I would say to those people, if they always saw real Heidi, they'd be like, duh, they're still together. He married an angel and she's the sweetest, like funny. So I think it's more Heidi, and I'm just blessed for her to tolerate me this many years.
And you just mentioned something that made a thought pop into my head, which is that when you guys did this show originally, you were both so young, it's like, and it sucks that there's this saying, a first impression is a lasting impression, but that's so frustrating because people grow up, we mature, we get hopefully better with age. I definitely see that in myself and in both of you. Something else I wanted to know, because I was curious, you mentioned God when talking about being in the church and the marriage. What's your relationship with God? I would imagine it's not as deep as Heidi, but like, do you both go to church?
So,
you seem more spiritual, you have your crystals and all of that.
Yeah. Growing up, I didn't go to like church. My parents didn't like say you couldn't do, like they weren't atheists. Maybe they are, and they didn't tell me, but they were, nothing was put on me. All my friends were Jewish. I was the only like I didn't go to, what's the Sunday? No, I don't know. Were they all
the synagogue?
Yeah. But no, they had like their weekly, like that was the one thing I was always left out of. Like all my friends had, I don't know, where they learned the Torah. I forget what it's called. But, so I would say I always had a relationship with God in the sense that, I felt like I was always talking to God in soccer games. I didn't realize I was always praying in the sense until Heidi showed up and had me like going to church with her first music producer that did Higher, Theron. He was the son of these 2 big time preachers from Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Yeah, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. So he was the real deal gospel type. He grew up in the church. So when Heidi, we were all in the studio, they brought me to church like every Sunday. We were going to this church in Sherman Oaks. And the funny church thing is every Sunday when in front of hundreds of people, they would say like, if you feel like you have sinned and you need to be saved.
Remember Perez came with us once. Remember when you came?
Did I? Maybe I did a long time ago.
All right. So you came to this church.
I think I remember. God, you have a great memory.
You went up with me. We went and got saved. So I was doing that every Sunday, and Heidi was finally like, you're only supposed to do that once.
I was like, you're fine. You don't need to keep going.
So I was
every time.
So I would, and then I went too deep as I do with everything, and and by the time I got to the jungle with Stephen Baldwin, I did feel like I was fighting a holy war because we had, one of these cast members trying to like recruit us into the Masons and like telling me to take off my cross. So then I was like extra, holy. And then, I felt like that was when I went like overboard with Jesus in the sense, so there's people that say you can't go overboard with Jesus, but, I don't think it was the right perception to people, but it made sense in my heart. So Heidi is, she had me going, we lived in Santa Barbara. She had me going to church, but I drink so much water. I always sat in the way back and I would tiptoe out to go to the bathroom. And I was like, I can't go to church anymore. She's like, why not? I'm like, because I have to pee too much, honey. You can just give me my own thing. She's like, the preacher does not care if you go pee. I'm like, he does. He mad dogs me the entire thing.
I was making it up. I'm like, Spencer,
you think hundreds of people are staring right at you. I'm like, yes, I know this. So she's like, you're out of your mind. Da, da, da. One day after church, this preacher's like, excuse me, Spencer, Mr. Pratt, what, can you come here for a second? And I'm like, oh my gosh, going. And he's like,
no, they made an announcement in the church.
And then after, he's like, can you come talk to me? He's like, you don't think I have to use the restroom? I'm an adult. I can hold it. You can't hold it. And I'm like, I don't know how much water you drink. No, I can't. I will pee in my pants. Like, no, you don't drink as much water as I do. I cannot hold it for an hour
He's
plus.
supposed to be like this laid back.
And I said, and he like straight up punked me. I said, Heidi, there you go. So that was my.
There's a great new church that they really don't care.
So that was when I was done with going to church. So
there's another great new church.
But Heidi makes me pray almost every night.
Oh, I love
makes
that.
Sense that, you know, she expects very long prayers.
No, I don't.
I'm cool. Like, thank God for all our blessings. But Heidi's like, okay, clock
that
start.
Is not true.
So yes, I have a very strong, but not Heidi level.
And how did you end up in the crystal world?
So when Heidi rewind, we were waiting for Bay City's sandwiches and the line was so long, and we look across the street to like stall for whatever, and we see this huge skeleton and crystals. We go over there and there's this huge quartz. I don't recall asking how much it cost. I just thought it was a rock. Do you think I did ask how much it cost? I don't know. No, because they called for fraud. So I gave him my credit card. And this is the time when we had business managers back in the day. And I get a call from our business manager, like, there's fraud on your credit card. And I'm like, oh.
We're on the way to Miss Universe. We're on the airplane and they call about the.
Oh, that's where it happened?
Yeah.
Wow, good memory.
2009, was it?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's this. And I'm like, oh, no, that's the crystal I bought. And they're like, you bought a crystal for $65,000 and a $10,000 delivery fee. I'm like, what? And then I like thought about it, I was like, dang. And they're like, we can get them to cancel the charge, Amex or that or whatever. And I was like, no, I want it. Like, I need that. So then we got that crystal, and I felt like that crystal started like attracting more crystals. So I was buying more crystals just to decorate. I wasn't like fully into like the energy level, but like pretty quickly. But then Heidi had her surgery and her pain was so crazy. Painkillers were not working. I was like on Google thinking of any alternative healing, and one pops up like Sujolite crystal. I'm like, I don't have Sujolite. Where's the Sujolite? So I call the crystal store. I'm like, you have Sujolite? He's like, oh, we have a $15,000, $14,000 Sujolite. I'm like, save it for me.
It's rare.
It is rare from Africa. It's beautiful. So I go get it. And that night, Heidi holds this crystal and she sleeps and she's like, it worked. I didn't do it. Like, you can say it was a placebo effect, but it's like, not really. How do you go from this much pain to like, you were able to mentally fake yourself out with a rope? Maybe. I'm sure there's some psychologists that could argue that, but I was in. That was when I went full, off the rails, crystal.
Wow. But then you turned that into a business, and now you're the crystal king.
Heidi turned into a business because she told me I wasn't allowed to buy any more crystals, that I need to sell my own crystals that I have. And I was like, I'm not selling my own crystals.
Yeah. I said, if you want to buy new crystals, you need to sell crystals. So if you buy one, sell one. I was like, absolutely not. We are cut off. We are done.
So then my first business, I did a crystal kit with this big time dealer. And then she's like, well, where's the money for all these crystal kits you sold? I'm like, oh no. Instead, he gave me a really good deal on this moldavite necklace.
I paid for the moldavite necklace. What do you mean he did not give you a good deal?
So then after that, we start our own version.
It's all Heidi. She's the brains.
Oh, she's the CEO.
No, Spencer's there. It's definitely a team.
It's the teamwork. I love that.
I know how to buy them for a lot.
Yeah, that became another problem with the company, and we still.
Yeah, so that's the biggest problem. Also, during the Hills, when the first season of the reboot was airing, we were doing $25,000 nights. So here's what we learned. I'm sure somebody at business school could have taught us this better about growth and managing growth. We've now learned you don't make any changes for like a year of something, but we're doing $320,000 months. So now we have to buy all this more inventory, but now we have to hire more employees to package this because we have this. So it starts becoming this crazy shovel. So now we're bringing in Hills check money to, because this money coming in.
I made the same exact mistake with my website back in the day. I made the same mistake.
Because you're trying to scale. You're better off having a smaller operation and it's being sold out always.
So or getting investors, which I should have done that. I didn't.
Well, Jason Waller offered to be an investor. Yeah, yes, we should have taken.
I'm glad he's not an investor.
But Pratt Daddy Crystals is still around.
But we're not doing $320K.
And we spent most of our Hills money in the company for the reboot, almost all of it.
All right, let me get real with you guys because I genuinely love you both. Do you have money saved right now?
I mean, how much? The problem is no.
Do you have more than $1 million saved?
No. I mean,
then why
asset in so when you say we put all this money in this crystal, it's all on our website. There's over $1 million in our website right now.
You need to hear this. Why are you going to Air One every fucking day? That place is not cheap. Are you getting free food? Are they comping you, or are you paying your own money for that? That shit's really expensive.
I get points back.
Okay. All right. So it's like a social. Okay. It's an arrangement. No,
it's a member points.
But that's still so expensive there. You can go to Trader Joe's for a fraction of the cost and save more.
Good.
Yep. Probably should.
Heidi, a lot of people appreciate your music, but the gays especially love them some Heidi Montag tunes. I think you were working with that Slater girl. Has that come out? Not yet, right?
No, I don't know. I even got an email from her 6 months ago, or I don't know, maybe less. She's like, it's coming out. I
wonder if it was a Britney clearance thing. I wonder if they're
spoiler alert.
Oh.
Nah. Well, it's not coming out. So
yeah, I don't think it's gonna come out. It was a cover for someone's song, like a remix cover. So I don't know if I don't know.
Well, maybe you could leak it in the future. I don't know.
It's good. I love it. So I don't have the files.
Are you working? Do you have any plans to do any more music?
No, it's just so expensive and it's hard to find people who have good enough tracks and then studio time. So at this point, I'm like, look, we have an incredible album. I have an incredible album. I spent so much money.
The vinyl, is the vinyl coming out?
Eventually.
It's been in the works.
Paid for it. No, it's not really. Yeah.
That it was.
So I think, you know what? I'm actually going into real estate. That's what I'm going to do.
Whoa, that's exciting.
So I'm like, we need a different income. I don't want to be waiting on TV money. We've spent way too much of our money.
Why just you? Why not Spencer as well? What's Spencer going to do? It's still the crystals.
She's first.
Now that I've decided to do it, Spencer's like, oh, I'm going to do it too. I'm like, great. Well, we'll do it.
And maybe that'll lead to more TV. Reality shows about real estate are very popular these days.
Yeah. Maybe.
Have you started taking classes, or how does that even work?
Yeah, so I have class next week and it's like an 8-hour course. And then I have some other things and then pre-exams and then exams. So
wow.
Not putting pressure on myself because a lot of people don't pass the first time. So I'm going to do that and get into that. And I already have a big agency that said I could come and work for them and study under them. So
oh my God. And you're excited about this.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I've been saying to Spencer for like 1.5 years, almost 2 years. I'm like, I need to get into real estate. And then it was just the Hills.
Wow, it was your idea. So you don't think it's not like, oh, it's beneath me to do this or anything like that.
Oh my gosh, it's one of the top jobs in the country.
My friends in Malibu are making like $1 million a week.
Yeah, I love working. I love hustling. I'm such a people person. So I'm like, this is right up my alley. This is something I would love doing. I love houses. I love real estate. So I'm like, this would be perfect for me. My sister-in-law is in real estate too. And my backup plan was always to, if I needed to be in Crested View, if that was the only place I could sell real estate, I was like, I would kill it there. But I was like, the realistic place and where I should be and where there's way more money is LA. So I was like, I don't know. And we started talking about it. And then Spencer helped me with his friends who are top realtors in the country to be like, yeah, you can come study under me and
Yeah, like who she's going to team up with, who doesn't want to be on social media, who doesn't want to go do the videos and all this stuff, is my buddy in Malibu, who's, you know, with the biggest agents in the game, but he doesn't want to be on like the front person to it. So I feel like him as Heidi's teammate, you know, would be, you know, incredible.
I'm excited about that in the future. All right. I know I saw Gunner there, so I'm going to wrap it up. Is there anything about Gunner that you want to share? Anything that he's doing that's new or different or that you just love these days?
He's just all boy. He's so fun and tough and running around, and he likes his little bubble gum shooter, and he just like makes up all these incredible games, and he's just so like rough and tough and
his
funny.
Favorite books right now are Little
true.
Mermaid and Cinderella.
That's true.
And Mulan.
He's sight reading on his own.
Oh,
like
no.
Picking them up, not reading.
Oh,
but
yeah. Those are
like
that's
picking.
Those are like a
decoding or whatever they mean. It's like the precursor to reading. So he
no. We're reading them.
No, yeah, he just likes us to read them. So these are
I see.
He loves, yeah.
My daughter, who's the same age, her new thing that she's doing, which I love, she's on a complimenting phase. She loves to, you're so pretty, Dad, or I love you so much, or whatever it is. She just like compliments a lot. I'm like, I don't know how this started, but I love it. So thank you.
Yeah. So Peter does an encouraging thing. He goes, "That's the spirit.
Great
job, Mom. Keep up the good work." And I'm like, I've never felt so good in my life. I am like going around.
What were you making in the morning? You're like making.
I was cleaning up dog poop from our dogs in the house, and he was like, "Good job, Mom. You got it." Yeah, Mom. And he was like cheering for me. It was a watching. I was just like, oh my gosh. So it's so rewarding being a parent too. And it really just keeps everything in focus. And, you know, but my number one goal this year is to really financially get on track. Like I really want to get life insurance together. I want to get certain bank accounts. We do have like a college fund going for Gunner, but I want to get that in a different account. So I want to fill up our bank account, stop spending money. We're cooking at home more, you know, just get on track and stay on track, because we were so on track in carb. And we were in a good place and a good mentality. And then we got back on the hills, and it's like, now you need outfits and this and that. And then now we have this company. So it just all went right again, or left, when I vowed I would never let that happen again. And then somehow I was just like, you know, and I kept saying ahead of time each season, I'm like, we can't spend all of our money in Pratt Daddy. Like we cannot do that. I'm not going to do that again. And then it ended up happening again. So now I'm like, well, we just need to have a different continual income and a different route and make more of a long-term success.
But everybody watching or listening right now, go to prattdaddy.com and buy something.
Yes, please. Bracelets, pendants, specimens.
That's a way better.
Although I think you should also start, because last time I checked the website, I'm like, shit, everything's really expensive. You may also, I suggest maybe offering some cheaper options too. Some cheap shit, because people want cheap shit from prattdaddy.com. You can get both. You can get both.
Here's the problem with cheap shit. Cheap shit breaks. So like once you start selling bad quality stuff, then people are then emailing, be like, this broke. It's like, you wanted cheap shit. It's like, well, I want my money back. Now you're just giving person like that. That's like, and then you're just competing against like Etsy, Chinese. Like we're a high-end crystal brand, with like quality. No, I'm saying you can still get something for like $35, but like once you go below, you know, $20, you're getting something that like UPS costs $8, you know, to ship it. So it's just it's a hard balance and we played that game, you know, where we did do less expensive stuff. So now you're in the volume business. Now you need more employees. People expect their stuff as fast as Amazon Prime. We already have 5+ employees, and we're not able to do something in 2 days like somebody expects now. So you just get in for the value of like, that doesn't pay for these people's salaries. You'd have to sell 1 million. Like we don't have a million customers to then sell a $5 thing. And then it all even. So
And we do have specimens. We have like incredible huge specimens. So we go live. So someone goes live every day at about 2:00. So I go once a week. Spencer goes once a week. Our employees go. And then we have exclusive things on our Prat Daddy app, which you can download for free. And it's also live shopping on Facebook. So I go every Friday right around 11:30. And we offer deals on there. And also like there was a huge specimen for $45, like this size, great quality, great price. So we do offer like exclusive specimens there.
I just mean jewelry. Jewelry becomes,
jewelry.
all of our chains are sterling silver. They're gold.
Are you still doing really well on Cameo? I guess so. Maybe find like a value package, like buy this and then for $10 more, get a video as well. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, we do a subscription box now, which gets you a lot of stuff for $99 a month.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Heidi.
Thank you.
I just said last night to Heidi, I got to step up my Cameo game like you. You share them everywhere. It's just a hard balance of you want to share these videos, but then it's like the people not buying these are just like not then engaging your story because you're just sharing Cameo videos. So it's a hard balancing everyone's opinion. Speaking of, I don't know if you got offered today, but Instagram now has the Patreon feature where you can pay. I just had the option added today where you can set subscriber amounts, but once you pick your value, you can't change it. So I can't figure out what do you think I should do. And you can go live just for your subscribers.
Oh, I would say do $5 a month.
They got 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, $4.99 is recommended. $9.99, $19.99, $49.99, $99.99. You must be getting butt naked on your own. Right? That's right.
Yeah, do the $4.99 one, but also, and hey, I say this, and I'm only on Instagram because I was fucking banned on TikTok, but Instagram is dead, frankly. But I'm glad that make sure you're also following both Spencer and Heidi on TikTok. They're both active on there as well.
So your thoughts. Heidi shut it down because she saw that Brody and Audrina were getting paid to do it, or allegedly. So I was doing the Hills.
Oh, so she made you stop doing it?
She was just
don't.
She was like, why are you giving them free content?
Well, here's what they're going to do. They're getting paid to do this. They're only going to quote Spencer the whole time. They're just going to get his season notes and they're going to say what he said and rebuttal off of them. So he's giving them the free content and they're going to do it. They're going to look at what he says and then that's it. And he's not getting paid to do it.
But it's helping grow his TikTok. His TikTok was probably exploding when he was doing that, right?
Yeah, it went up 100,000 in a week.
And then it's plateaued since you stopped?
Yeah, everybody's like, where is it? Where is it? Well, I don't post anymore.
Oh, well, you need to be posting on there.
I know, you're easier said than done.
Well, that's what I said to Spencer too. You don't need to just have a Hills TikTok.
Yeah, I could do anything.
Why don't you do some of the main things? You can do some main key episodes, but then also, like your dad, your husband, you have Crystal.
Yeah.
Like you
honestly
need to do everything and not just
like a lot of the stuff you put on your Instagram story could work on TikTok. Like, and sometimes the most random, ridiculous things. Like, I bet you people would just like to see you eating. Like a 60-second eating and a thought.
Well,
I do enjoy watching Spencer.
I eat a lot of food, so that's a lot of TikToks.
I do enjoy watching.
Yeah, like you said, there's all our money is in food. We eat very well.
You do.
That's what we should have done 10 years ago, was start a food YouTube channel, because the investment we put into food in the last 20 years, how long we've been 16 years eating together. It's a lot of food.
Well, I think the world of you both. Thank you for your time, and go to pratdaddy.com, everybody. And if you're in the market for a new house in a little bit, make sure that you hit up Heidi and get it from her. How cool would that be?
Buyer or seller.
All right. Or sell it. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Bye. Nice to see you. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening. We appreciate you all. And I just know Booker is wrong. So let us hear it. 800-721-1185.
Seen this movie many times. And
share our link Share our link, perezpodcast.com, and we will see you next week.